Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan defensive tackle Maurice Hurst is a consensus All-American. He's projected as a first-round pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. Hurst will play one more game, and he'll buck an emerging trend in college football: players who choose to sit out a bowl game to remain healthy in preparation for the NFL Combine and NFL Draft. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh announced Wednesday that Hurst plans to play in the Outback Bowl on January 1 against South Carolina. Playing a final game will benefit Hurst. He has a chance to get more reps as he prepares for the Senior Bowl on January 28 in Mobile, Alabama, and for the NFL Draft in April. Draft analysts point to Hurst's quickness, and a good showing in the Outback Bowl would only help his draft stock. ESPN.com has pegged Hurst at no. 28, while WalterFootball.com ranks Hurst as the fifth best defensive tackle available in the 2018 draft. At 6'2", 282 pounds, Hurst is undersized as an NFL lineman. Prior to the announcement from Jim Harbaugh that Hurst would play in the bowl game, a former NFL scout offered Hurst some advice. "I would tell him to play," said Dan Shonka, general manager of OurLads.com, who was a scout with 3 NFL teams. "I understand he saw with Jake Butt what happened to Jake last year. But you know what? I would recommend Mo play with his teammates at Michigan and again, put on a show for people and help his draft stock. Because you know what? If you don't do anything, you're static. It's getting overboard about sitting out. You can get injured in any game that you play in this year. That bowl game, he can go out there, it's a reward for a great career he's had and his big year this year. What works in Hurst's favor is that he is healthy as he enters the bowl game. What works against Hurst is that in playing in the Outback Bowl, he runs the risk of sustaining or aggravating an injury. That also factored into Hurst's decision, whether to run that risk. He saw it with teammates Jake Butt and Jabril Peppers in the 2016 Orange Bowl. Butt entered the game as a potential first-round pick, but tore his ACL in the Orange Bowl. The Denver Broncos selected Butt in the 5th round, but he began the season on the physically unable to perform (PUP) list and was placed on injury reserve in November. Peppers, meanwhile, sustained a hamstring injury in practices the week before the Orange Bowl and didn't play in the game. Hurst said he consulted with Butt, among other former Michigan players, about the decision to play in the bowl game. "Speaking with my family, talking to Jake Butt, talking to Chris Wormley, some of the other guys that may have had a similar decision," Hurst told reporters earlier this month. "Talking to Coach Harbaugh, just trying to use all my resources to make sure that I make the best decision for myself and my family." Hurst has also accepted an invitation to the Senior Bowl, considered to be one of the top showcases prior to the NFL Scouting Combine, which begins February 27 in Indianapolis. Hurst has several teammates who have NFL aspirations, including 3 who have publicly stated they will play in the Outback Bowl: fullback Khalid Hill, offensive lineman Mason Cole and defensive end Chase Winovich. Hill had no hesitation about playing in the Outback Bowl.